Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Coast News. And as always, we've got some amazing news from different theme parks, rides, attractions and events all over the world. So let's get straight into the news today. Our top story for tonight, the track for Falcon's flight at Six Flags Qiddiya has officially been completed. And I must say, to say that this blows my mind would be an understatement. This ride is honestly crazy, but if you're not aware of what I'm talking about, basically Falcon's Flight is a brand new roller coaster that is opening as part of the entire Six Flags Qiddiya City theme park located near Riyadh in Saudi Arabia. It is part of a wider project to basically build the entire Qiddiya City, which is basically just a huge mega project that is mainly aimed at bringing tourism to the country. And part of that project, just literally a small part of that project, includes the theme park Six Flags Qiddiya. Now this theme park is going to be on another level with what it's offering us, but the main flagship attraction that is going to be on offer when the park does open is the brand new roller coaster Falcon's Flight, which is from Swiss manufacturer Intamin amusement rides, and they have dubbed this ride an Exocoaster. Now the reason they've called it this is because Falcon's Flight is going to be, when it opens, it's going to be the tallest, fastest and longest roller coaster on the planet. Literally on the entire planet, on the surface of the Earth. And it's going to take all three records in one coaster, which I don't think it's not been done in a very long time. So track length, it's going to be over 13,000 feet long, which compared to the current longest, Steel Dragon 2000 at Nagashima Sparland, that's 8,133 feet long. So as well, it's also going to be the fastest at 156 miles an hour, and it's also going to be the tallest at 640 feet tall. So the previous tallest was King the Car, obviously that closed, but before King the Car, it was Top Thrill 2, which is originally known as Top Thrill Dragster. So we've just gone straight past the 500 foot mark and we've already gone to 600 feet. Even though the highest point of the ride is technically cheating because it's on a cliff edge, but even still, the huge camelback hill that follows it is still going to be over 500 foot tall anyway. And literally yesterday, the final ever track piece of this ride was put into place, and it is one of the track pieces that goes towards the top of the large drop that goes over the 600 foot cliff, and it looks absolutely crazy how much effort they've put into building this thing. And hopefully it shouldn't be long now until it starts testing. In other news today, Ice Blast at Pleasure Beach Resort is being rethemed to Launchpad for the 2025 season. And this is something I don't think anyone was expecting. We knew it was going to be one of the two options. It was going to be like reopened next season or completely removed. But I don't think anyone ever expected like a retheme. But if you know what I'm talking about, basically, Ice Blast is an SNS short tower located at Pleasure Beach Resort in Blackpool in England. It is one of the more iconic rides at the park. It originally opened in the 1990s as PlayStation The Ride. It's gone through a number of names throughout the years, with its longest name its most recent name being Ice Blast. But all through this season, it's been closed. And there's been hardly any word about why it's been closed, but I think people have spotted it's to do with some sort of mechanical part of the ride that needs refurbishing. And yeah, literally, it's been closed all season long. Nobody even knew if it was staying or if it was going. Scaffolding literally rose up to the highest points of the attraction all year long. So literally, if you go past Pleasure Beach now, the entire structure for Ice Blast is just scaffolding, like a giant tower of scaffolding. You can't even see the original ride underneath it because it's all just scaffolding, nothing else. And that led to rumours of the either refurbishing it or getting rid of it. But earlier this week, Pleasure Beach actually came out with the announcement that the ride is actually getting rethemed. So it's going to be renamed to Launchpad. It's going to have a space travel theme. And it's going to have new ride parts, literally a brand new ride part that they need to operate the ride. And yeah, it's going to reopen as under a different name and theme next season, which I think could benefit the attraction. It could bring new life to it. How the ride experience will differ from the original version, I'm not sure. They may add some new like special effects to the attraction, probably some lighting and sound effects. I don't know if they'll add much to it. But yeah, this actually seems pretty interesting. The fact that they're retheming this ride, which I'm glad it's still operating. Actually, I didn't think it was going to be. Well, I didn't think it was going to be operating after the season, to be honest, with like the state that it was in, and the fact that we know Pleasure Beach they just like to close like the closed Grand Prix, which was a much older attraction, but it closed like early this season. But yeah, the fact that they're keeping this ride and just giving it new life, I think is really good. But yeah, I kind of wait to see what this new retheme and refurbishment brings to Ice Blast when it reopens as launch pads next season at Pleasure Beach. Also in the news today, Alton After Dark is returning to Alton Towers for the 2025 season. And I'm glad they decided to bring this event back, because it could really bring some, definitely bring some like variety to their lineup. We know that the event was well received this year, so bringing it back next season as well, I think is a good idea. But if you don't know what I'm talking about, basically, Alton After Dark is an event that was first introduced at the start of the 2024 season, and it's literally just like the first few weekends of the season are like they extend the opening hours till late, so it's essentially for you get more night rides in like earlier in the season, rather than just because like most of the events apart from this season, Festival of Thrills and Mardi Gras were cut from the lineup. So this year there was just Oktoberfest, Scarefest, fireworks, and Christmas, which is currently on. So there are only, and I think only three of those events had later opening. So literally all the like sort of extended hours were towards the end of the season. So the fact that they've introduced an event where you can have night rides towards the start of the season I think is a really good idea. So yeah, they had the first Alton After Dark, which was literally March this year. They had it on the first 3 Saturdays of the season. So the first one being on opening day, 16th of March. Now next year, they had literally earlier this week they confirmed that they are bringing it back for the 2025 season, but adding more dates on. So rather than just being for 3 whole days a year, they're actually making it like multiple days in each week. So the first, like, it'll be from the 15th to the 16th of March, then it'll be from the 21st to the 23rd of March, and then the final 2 days of the event will be from the 28th to the 29th of March. So that's 7 days worth of Alton After Dark, which is a lot more than what it was at the start this year, where it was just 3 days. So I think that's really good how they've done that. Personally, I've not actually attended the Alton After Dark event. I have done like night rides like Scarefest and fireworks and whatnot. So it's probably similar to that, just without the scare mazes and fireworks. But I heard the event was really good. I heard it was really well received. So it's good that they're bringing it back next year, and the fact that they've added more days on there as well. That's another bonus as well. And considering Project Ocean, which is opening next year, that'll probably be ready for opening day. So I wonder how that will be for a night ride. But either way, I cannot wait to see what Alton After Dark is like next season. And finally in the news today, Minecart Madness has officially opened at Universal Studios Japan. Now honestly, it doesn't feel real that this ride is open, because we've heard about this type of ride for years. And the fact that now there's one of these open is crazy. But if you know what I'm talking about, basically, Minecart Madness is a brand new roller coaster that has opened at Universal Studios Japan. It is an expansion to the Super Nintendo World themed land, which opened at Universal Japan back in 2021. Now there are currently two operating Super Nintendo World themed lands around the world. So there's a third one opening next year. There's the original one, which opened in Japan in 2021. And then the Super Nintendo World at Universal Studios Hollywood, which opened last year. And there's now going to be Super Nintendo World, which is opening as part of the brand new Universal's Epic Universe at Universal Orlando in May next year, May 2025. Now, all of these lands across the world have like a plan to have like phased openings. So for each of these lands, well, apart from the Epic Universe one, so basically the Japanese park, and I think the Hollywood park as well, they've got like 2 phases. So the first phase is like the original like sort of attractions that are in those areas. So for Japan, it was the Mario Kart ride, and I believe the Yoshi's Adventure rides. I think that's what was in the Japanese version of the land, and I think the same goes for Hollywood. And the second phase was the expansion to the area, which is its sort of own like sort of separate mini area themed around Donkey Kong Country. And the main attraction in that land is the roller coaster Minecart Madness, which is an exclusive patent from Universal Destinations and Experiences called a boom coaster, where it has the track is raised much. The train is raised much higher above the track than normal. So you've got the train, you've got like a large like piece of metal holding the train like right above the track. And in between the real track and the train, you've got false track. So that means that they can create the illusion of the train actually jumping the track, which the ride actually does. And it actually seems so cool, both in terms of like the realism, how it's going to look on ride, and also how photogenic and awesome that's going to look off ride. So yeah, the first Minecart Madness roller coaster opened at Japan this past Wednesday. And the next one is going to open with the rest of Super Nintendo World at Epic Universe. And overall, this brand new ride looks absolutely amazing, and I cannot wait for the one at Epic Universe to open. So that is it for this week's episode of Coast News. I hope you've enjoyed it, and if you did, then please make sure to like and subscribe, and comment where we'd like to see the next video. Goodbye.